So I'm a bit late to the party. I've done so much content about nice guys, and I haven't really done a video just defining what a nice guy is. So I wanted to put that out today because I see there's some confusion about this term. The guys who have nice guy syndrome don't realize it, and other people don't have an idea of what it's like to be one of these guys. People quite often get offended by me saying something like being nice is bad or it's manipulative because they view niceness as themselves or other people being kind and compassionate and generous and helpful and giving and polite. They think that these are all good things. And while the nice guys that I help with my coaching may demonstrate some or many of these traits, they are different from genuine, confidently generous people. Quite different. So, nice guy syndrome, which I believe was coined by Dr. Robert Glover, it may have happened sooner than that, describes men who see themselves as nice, but they are actually quite psychologically unwell. They are essentially mentally ill and socially disordered due to childhood trauma, and the niceness is really a coping mechanism to survive socially. I'm not going to talk too much about causes of nice guy syndrome. This is more about a definition of it. I have a whole video on the 10 traumas that cause nice guy syndrome. You can find that on my channel. So it's all about motives. So the key difference between a nice guy and a genuinely generous person is why they're doing it. See, for men with nice guy syndrome, being nice is actually a form of manipulation. It is a strategy made up of various tactics and techniques designed to protect them from certain things, especially from certain emotions and from being perceived in a certain way by other people. They will argue against this when you challenge them about it if they're not yet self-aware, but it's pretty easy to prove. See, while a confident, nice person will do generous, kind things and not care how you react, not hope that you're grateful, not want you to see him as a good person or anything, just doing it out of the goodness of his heart and letting other people decide how they want to feel about it. A nice guy cares very much how you react. In fact, that's the primary motivation. So essentially, he's going for certain results. Now, there are different types of nice guys, and again, I've made content talking about the different types and how they differentiate from each other. But here are some general kind of outcomes that they like to seek. So there's what you might call negative outcomes that they're trying to prevent. So they want to avoid confrontation and conflict. They want to prevent rejection or embarrassment and humiliation. They want to suppress negative emotions as they judge it in other people and themselves so that they won't have that feeling or have it attached to them. And of course, they want to try and make certain things happen. They want to develop a reputation as a good person rather than actually just be a good person. And they want, of course, avoid being seen as a bad person. They want to try and make everything feel fair. They've got this injustice that they're trying to solve. They want to avoid being the one who takes all the risks by leading and initiating and making the decisions. They want to keep things comfortable, enjoyable, and predictable, controllable, really, at all times. They want to prove that they're worthy to others. They want to be seen as talented or resourceful or reliable, or successful or interesting or entertaining or kind. So it's about the image rather than the substance behind it. They want to make people like them and love them, and of course, avoid being hated and despised. They want to make people happy so that you feel happy around them so that you think of them as a good person. They want to get approval and validation from others. They want proof that they're a good person through the feedback they get from others. They basically want to remove all hassles, all struggles, all emotional discomfort, and all obstacles to create what Robert Glover would call a smooth, problem-free life. Most of all, the primary motivation, whether they admit it or not, is to control people emotionally. So you can see this is quite different from being genuinely, confidently generous or kind or compassionate. This is really all about using that to control people. And in case you're wondering if I'm being judgmental, I have nice guy syndrome. I've been in recovery for many years now. I've had it since as long as I can remember. I'm one of the tribe, like a former drug addict working in Narcotics Anonymous. I see you, I see through you. This is not judgment, this is understanding. So while most nice guys unfortunately won't admit this to themselves until they do some deep introspection and finally question why things aren't working out for them in their life, their main goal is to control how other people see them The official term for this is impression management, and therefore control how people feel about them. So they either do this by manipulating people into liking them, into feeling certain pleasurable emotions and connection with them, and or by avoiding setting off negative emotions in the other people. So they either kind of make you like them or avoid you disliking them. Their methods and common behaviors. So as I've already mentioned, there are different types of nice guys and they function differently. I've made a whole post about that before. So not all of this will apply to every guy. There is quite a lot of variation amongst the guys who have this syndrome. Basically 5 different types. There's the performer, there's the controller, there's the wallflower, there's the inner critic, and then there's the one who has a mixture of all of these. But here are some of the traits that you're likely to have, and if you tick off a lot of these boxes, you almost certainly have nice guy syndrome. You will be dishonest to get a better outcome. You'll falsely agree with people to avoid conflict and make people feel good about you. You use covert contracts. You expect people to just know what they should do around you, and they held to account for this, though you never ask them directly. You struggle to initiate sex because of a fear of rejection. You hide your own preferences and opinions for the fear that it might offend people. You back down from aggressive or assertive people. You overachieve and go beyond to the call of duty in the workplace or entertaining your friends, anywhere where you're judged by others. Fake laughing or otherwise showing approval when you secretly disagree or dislike someone. Ruminating on why other people don't like you and trying to figure out how to turn them around. Sacrificing yourself for others' needs, even when they could do it without you. Treating strangers better than you treat your loved ones and family. What I call green light syndrome, always waiting for encouragement or permission or leadership from someone else before you take a move. Quitting things that are unlikely to quickly lead to good results, things that feel difficult or confusing, and you're not immediately the best in them. Punishing people with sulking or indirect expressions of emotion that they're forced to try and translate. Exaggerating and otherwise adding fiction to the truth, to your stories, to try and make you sound more interesting or more impressive or to better engage people's attention. Sticking to what you're good at or find easy rather than pursuing your true passions. And staying in friendships and relationships without really loving the other person, just kind of taking what you can get and sticking with it. There are boatloads of other traits, but if you've got a lot of the ones I just described, you can be sure that you need to look into this further. Now, are you a nice guy or just a decent person? You might think of yourself as genuinely kind. It might be that a lot of your nice guy behavior actually comes from a core of kindness, a kind of purity underneath the insecurity. And you want to know which is which. So you'll know if you're genuinely kind if you don't care if other people notice or appreciate your kindness. You just do it because it's the right thing to do. You can also stand up for yourself and upset people if you need to live with integrity, even if it means making them hate you or spreading bad information about you. You don't fear rejection more than the sort of average person. You don't mind directly asking for what you want. For example, telling a woman that you find her attractive without first finding out if she likes you. You're good at ending relationships, i.e., rejecting people, and you don't force them to do it by sabotaging the connection. You prefer being honest over being liked. You'll tell the truth that will upset someone if that's what they really need to know. You take care of your own needs first and don't sacrifice yourself for others. And you treat those who are closest to you with more courtesy and consideration than strangers or associates or people like your boss. So if you demonstrate a lot of the traits that from this list, then you probably don't have nice guy syndrome because there's a lot of confidence in this list. You've got that assertive backbone and that integrity that backs up your kindness and compassion. But if that list doesn't sound much like you, if you sound much more like the first list, then you almost certainly have nice guy syndrome. So that's a short introduction into nice guy syndrome, just to help you figure out if you are a nice guy or just a nice guy. And if you feel uncomfortable with the information in this video, then there's a good chance that you've got the syndrome. And if you want to have a better life, then maybe you need to do something about it, because it doesn't have to be a life sentence. You don't have to become an asshole. There's this whole new confident, masculine way of living that everyone will prefer, actually. But it will require some discomfort.